Hello and welcome to another episode of Nothing Definitive. My name is Sam Carlson, and today I want to talk about reaching the next level in regards to like enlightenment and how you react and feel to things. Okay, so I have three examples that I'm gonna give, and I think that'll best illustrate what my point is. So the first example is comes from when I was younger. When I was young, I was very indoctrinated into the American system. I was patriotic, I was religious, I was gung ho about money and power and fame and running a business and purchasing cool things and all that sort of stuff. Just like kind of like an ordinary person. Just they want to be rich and that kind of thing, right? As I got older and as I began to pursue this path of enlightenment, I began to realize that those desires weren't really my own. It was a result of being indoctrinated, of being assimilated into the American system. I didn't really want money and power and fame and things. I was just convinced that I wanted it. It wasn't what my real self wanted. So then I started lessening that grip that it had over me. Just kind of telling myself like these aren't really things that I want. These aren't things that will actually make me happy. It's just a distraction. And as I did that, I started also doing research into the financial system. I started looking at like, what was the deal with the 2008 financial collapse, and I've watched documentaries about it and done research in all sorts of related financial fields. And the more I looked into it, the more I realized that I was actually starting to kind of hate money. I was going from loving it to hating it because it just was causing so much greed and suffering around the world. All this like all these super super rich people who are just so driven to amass wealth and more, just there's no compassion. They're like machines that are just they'll do whatever it takes to get money, and it really started to make me hate money. And I reached this other extreme. I went from loving it to hating it, and I kind of for a while I thought that was kind of like being grown up, like I now saw the world more clearly and understood that money was evil. But then I started like very recently I kind of realized that there's a level beyond that. There's a level beyond like going from how ordinary people look at it and then beyond how like maybe a more intellectual mind looks at it to this more enlightened state. And it's like this third level where I went from hating money to kind of just being calm. Like I no longer cared, I no longer wanted money, I no longer hated it. I was just calm, like money exists and that's okay. If I have it, if I don't, it doesn't matter. That's not really what provides happiness. It's just this part of human nature. It's just something that's there. Um, I also the other example that I had in regards to that was when you're younger, you're very insecure and you worry about how people think of you, and you're very vulnerable to judgment and stuff like that. And as you get older, you start to get more confident, and when you're an adult and you're all grown up, you kind of learn how to boost your confidence and be stronger and don't have those kind of issues. And the other this was just like a couple of days ago. I was thinking about it, and I was thinking of it from the like Buddhist enlightenment sort of viewpoint, where perhaps there's a level even beyond that. You can be like an adult with confidence, but then you can be one step further, which is this like letting go, realizing that even confidence is still this metric for measuring something that doesn't even need to exist in the first place. We One of the things with like Buddhism and stuff is that you get to be in control of how you feel and what affects you in life. So if you accept that I'm going to be a confident person, you're still accepting this kind of weakness. You're accepting that confidence is this real thing, rather than just saying, I can be calm and comfortable no matter what, not because I have high confidence, but because I'm in control. It's just like this one step further that gives you even more power over just being, whatever you want to be. And then the last example is in regards to comments on the internet. When I used to, when you first get on the internet, when you're younger and stuff, and you read trolling comments or someone trolls you or something, you get very upset about it. Their anger makes you angry, and it gets into an argument and that sort of thing. And that's kind of how you handle it when you're younger, when you're still kind of a child. Then you grow up, to your adult phase, and you realize, oh, I'm better than this, and you post back on the comments and say, you should have a more open mind, you be friendly, and that sort of thing, try and diffuse the argument or whatever. And we feel like, okay, that's the grown-up thing to do. But then there's the third level, the enlightened level, where you realize that this is just part of human nature. People are competitive, people are negative, and if they don't understand the world, they get very emotional about things. So you kind of, like I was browsing the YouTube, and I saw these negative comments, and I've been getting really good at just looking at them and going, I'm just observing like this human nature. I'm not compelled to respond anymore. It's just I can be calm, totally unaffected. I read a negative comment and I don't feel any negativity in response to it. I don't feel compelled to respond and be like, hey, you should think this way or be more open-minded. I just realize, like, my voice is not going to be heard by these people because they don't want to hear it. They're not interested in expanding their minds, at least not right now. Give them time, let them grow. We were all in that stage at one point. It's just part of human nature. It's okay, you let go and just be calm and at peace with everything. Um, so yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about. This next third level of taking things that far, like, don't just think like, I've accomplished this, I'm thinking about these things in the right way. Try and go one step further. How should I actually think about this? How would a Zen master, a Buddhist master, someone who's super enlightened think about it, and try and go that next step? Because it really, I think it really results in like the kind of like perfect or ultimate way to handle things, how to think about it. So yeah, so that's what I wanted to talk about. Thank you very much for listening as always. Please consider subscribing above, and see you next time.